The oldest mummified remains were found in the Chilean region of the Andes in South America and were the remains of people known as Chinchero. The Chinchero were a nomadic group, whose diet consisted largely of seafood and plants. The remains found were an example of intentional preservation. The Chinchero's mummified remains for religious and spiritual reasons. Repair work observed in the mummies indicate that rather than bury the bodies, they kept them on display. It is believed that they even fed and clothed the mummies, and it was believed that if the bodies were treated well, their path to the afterlife would be smooth and the gods would reward those still alive. However, it was also believed that by mummifying the deceased, they were providing a permanent home for the soul and in a way cheating death. Unlike the Egyptians, who mummified only those who were powerful and respected, the Chincheros showed no hierarchical prejudice. Remains showed that everyone was mummified, adults, children, and even miscarried fetuses. The remains were interred in family groups. There were two processes of mummification. On the early type, the skin was removed and the body was stripped to the bone. Organs and muscles were removed and reconstructed from other materials to recreate artificial humans. The skin was then replaced on the body and a clay mask was placed onto the face. The masks were painted with black manganese and have become known for this coloration. As the practice became more advanced, it became unnecessary to fully remove the skin. Instead, muscles and organs were removed by slits made into the skin. Again, they were replaced with other materials, and the bodies were covered in clay. They had similar masks to the black mummies, but were instead painted with red ochre. The bones of the mummies were dried with ashes and sea lion or pelican skin to use to supplement the skin when needed. Later localized Peruvian tribes, such as the Nazca and the Chiribaya and Chachapoyas, continued the tradition, and the mummification of the Chiros people evolved. Some bodies have been found mummified in upright sitting positions. This allowed fluid to flow away by gravity, reducing the elements that could lead to decomposition. Mummified remains have been found on mountain tops. The bodies are preserved by the natural process of freeze-drying and are believed to have been left there as a human sacrifice. The Ice Maiden was found in 1995 by John Reinhardt and Miguel Zarate on Mount Ampati in Peru. She is thought to have been 12 to 14 years old when she was offered as a sacrifice to the gods. Her flesh was frozen to her bones rather than dried out, and she weighed about 80 pounds. Inca mummies are not as old as Chinchero remains. The Inca civilization existed around the 16th and 17th century. Modern technology meant that the extensive scientific tests could be carried out on the remains mummified. Mummified remains require non-invasive techniques to avoid damage. X-ray analysis, CAT scans, endoscopy, electron microscopy, and DNA analysis can provide information about the lifestyle of the ancient civilizations. Juanita's bones and teeth were found to be in good condition, and she had a large amount of muscle mass. The girl was in good health when she died. The cause of death appears to be a blow to the head, causing a fractured skull. The scientists were able to test her DNA and could even see what she had eaten before she died. This type of preservation can be applied to research in modern cryopreservation and provides some idea as to how techniques and methods can be developed.